Is there a dream or a vision in your heart that you're putting off? Is there a goal or an idea that it just keeps nagging you, and yet you do whatever surrounds it, you do whatever it takes to, well, maybe you're just touching on it, but you're not going all in. Maybe you're doing something adjacent to it, but not going all in. And I want to talk about today what it's costing you to not say yes to yourself, to not say yes to the God dream He's put inside of your heart and He's cultivated over the months, years, sometimes decades that He's placed this on your heart. And I want to talk about what's possible when you say yes. All right, listen in. Let's do this. Hey, and welcome to the Full Weight of Joy podcast, the podcast for women who are done stressing about the weight of the world, of expectations and settling for status quo, and ready to step into the full weight of joy. Joy in the journey, whether up or down, joy through the life's challenges, and joy in loving your life right where you are, even though sometimes we feel like chucking it all and moving to Bali. It's for women who are ready to step into who God called them to be. He chose you to be in this world. He created you for a specific purpose. God called us to be the light on a hill, and by embracing who you are and whose you are, you can stand on that hill and shine. The best part, when you're standing next to another woman who's also on the journey, the world gets brighter. My name is Tammy. I am your host and a master certified life coach and a trained therapist. For over a decade, I've been helping women do just that. Step into who they're called to be and shine. Are you ready, friend, to start your journey? Let's do this.
This meeting is being recorded.
Imagine one of your kids come to you and says, "Mom, I've got this great idea. It's my dream. It's what I want, and I'm going to go for it." Would you even think about saying things like, "Honey, it's not ready yet. You need to be more prepared." Or if you fail, you're going to let everybody down. Or what makes you think you deserve this? Who do you think you are to try something like that? You don't know how to do it. No, we would never, even if we thought it was preposterous, I should have picked a different word. Even if it's out of the realm of possibilities, we would never discourage their dreams like that. We would encourage them, even if our fears creeped in and thought, well, there's no way this can happen. We're still going to be like, then go for it. How are you going to do it? What do you think you need? How can I support you? Well, these comments that we would never think of making to our kids, or even would you say that to your best friend, even if what they were planning seems crazy and something completely out of left field? No, you would never discourage them in that way. And yet, that's how we discourage ourselves. We have this idea, this dream, this goal, this vision, and immediately our brain's like, you're not ready yet. You need to be more prepared. Why don't we learn more about this before we dive into it? Who do we think we are to do this? You think you can achieve this? You don't even know what you want. And if you fail, you're going to let everyone down. It's not even worth it. Do you have thoughts like that? I want to talk to you today about how those thoughts that we would never in a million years say to our child, yet we say them to ourselves every day, are costing us so much. So I want to talk about just the price, the cost of not going after our dreams, the cost of saying no. And when instead of saying no, we should say, okay, here I am, Lord, send me. So the first one, and I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because I really want that. My goal here is to show you what becomes possible when we do say yes. So when we say no to ourselves, when we say we're not ready, when we say I need more information, when we say I don't deserve this, or who am I to even consider, to fathom doing something like this, it's costing us, and we're playing safe. Ladies, we're playing safe. We are not getting in the game, and we're not trying. We're not willing to step out of our comfort zone. We are saying no. And one thing that I want to share is that it might be saying no to what God has for us? Are you willing to allow like just that regret of staying in your comfort zone and not even attempting to see what comes out of it? When we play it safe, when we like in life in general, we have like there's unfulfilled potential. We have missed opportunities. By playing it safe, there's no opportunities that come our way, like new growth, new experiences, these significant achievements that are possible. We don't even step into the arena to try. Like I mentioned, regrets, like looking back and realizing that you have those, I wonder what would have happened if I would have tried. If I would have known now what I know then, that time is on our side until we wait. Time is our most precious resource. And how many of you, like, let's get honest for a moment. How many of you have been like this dream, this vision, this goal has been like circling around in your heart and you're nowhere in your soul for longer than 6 months, longer than a year, longer than 5 years? How long has this dream been on your heart and you haven't been able to shake it? How much longer do you want to wait and not even see that potential that's there? The stagnation, without taking risks, we remain stuck. I don't know about you, but I don't like feeling stuck. I don't like feeling like I have no options, that I don't know the direction I'm going, that I love new experiences. I love change. I've learned to embrace change. It was not always from the beginning, but that's okay. But by playing it safe, you get stagnant and you're okay with staying stuck, overwhelmed, anxious. You're allowing yourself to stay in that position simply by the devil that you know is you're just sticking with that. You're sticking with status quo. And when has status quo ever been enough for you? Loss of joy and fulfillment by not pursuing this dream, it often brings us a sense of like a sense of loss. But when we pursue our dreams, even if we don't get them right, even if we don't see, like it's not about the end game. It's not about the outcome. The outcome's God's. Ours is the obedience and the action. But it's the taking that step of faith, that leap of getting out of your comfort zone and being willing to say, here I am, Lord, send me. So we lose that sense of joy and fulfillment when we're constantly feel that ache of there's something more, or I can make an impact. Or how many times have you thought of something and then you see someone else doing it, and then you have that pit in your stomach of like that, knowing that that should be you. Then there's also diminished confidence, because the more times you say no to yourself, the more times you just push that dream down and say, no, I need more information. I need more information. I need more time. I need more. I'm not ready. Who am I? Over time, it erodes our self-confidence, making it even harder to take action in the future. Excuse me, I've got an itch. The limited impact. You were called to make an impact. Like I said in my intro, and like we are called, we're a light on a hill. You have an impact to make. And it doesn't matter if it's to one person or a million people. We don't know the ripple effects. We don't know what God's going to do with it. Our job is to show up and say yes, and then let him do with it what he will. And let's not even talk about the wasted time. How much time you wasted thinking about something and then talking yourself out of it, when like how many times have you put off something, and then when you finally did it, it took you no time at all, and you're like, why did I take so much time to do that? Think about all that wasted time that you can pursue your passions, that you can make an impact, that you can step into the freedom of who God called you to be. And let's not even talk about the eroded relationships. Staying in your comfort zone also can lead to complacency. It could lead in both personal and professional. So if you don't push yourself to connect more deeply and authentically, if you don't push yourself out of your comfort zone with relationships, if it's, like I said, personal or professional, then like this playing it safe is because you never know who you can help or who can help you. I truly believe there's so much power in speaking aloud what God has on your heart. There are things that I sheepishly told one of my mentors, one of my friends years ago, about speaking on a stage, public speaking. And immediately when I told her, I'm like, I don't like public speaking. I don't like stages. And here I am. And she said, Tammy, if that's God's will, he'll find a way. And when I look now and I laugh because it's something that I enjoy. Not only like I still get nervous. I still, if I, it's so funny to me because I've been doing podcasts for almost 4 years now, or over 3.5 years. And today it was like my brain was like, oh, you don't know what to say. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But these eroded relationships. So when you speak it out loud and you allow someone else to hear it, a lot of times they're like, well, let me connect you with so and so. This is how the book that I have that's being published on October 2nd, that's how that came about. Is I was in a group and one of the ladies was like, I need to connect you with Michelle. I need to connect you with her because she's looking for authors and your story would fit in the theme of the book. And so with that, like that relationship is what gave me the opportunity. So when you say no, when you play it safe, you're turning down opportunities that those relationships could bring you. And then of course, the lack of legacy. This is one thing that I know in the grief world, this feeling of loss and even I think it's if you have Christ in your heart too, this, that your life lasts beyond death. Your life, you're a passerby, you're a guest in this world and we're meant for eternity. Well, I also think that our dreams are meant for eternity. And so this legacy that we have inside of us, and it's not a legacy about you, but it's what the impact that you can make. How many people do you study and the impact that they made, even though you've never met them and maybe they just did one small thing, but just hearing about it has inspired you. Well, this lack of legacy, this lack that if you don't get out of your comfort zone, this legacy that you desire won't ever come to fruition. So now let's make a shift because this is way more fun to talk about. This is way more fun. What are some things that could happen when you say yes to your dream and you go all in? Because let me tell you, saying yes to your dream means saying yes to something, to just taking the first step. I am an Enneagram 1. I am a details person. And I talked to my coach and a friend about this recently, is I get so into the weeds and to figure it all out that it paralyzes me. And so one of the things I've been trying to do is stay up at a higher level. I'm trying to think broader, not go in as deep, not like what details are necessary and then forget the rest, because goes into that I need more information. I need to have it all figured out. I need to know how it's going to go. All of that, like that is my natural tendency, is I want to have a well-laid plan, a well-laid product, a well-laid path before I even start. And that's not how God works. He doesn't tell us the plan and then say, okay, would you like to go? No, he says, pick up your mat and take off. And I will show you the way as we go. I will have the burning bush. I will have the fire in the day and the cloud okay, I'm mixing that up. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And so when we say yes and go all in, we're not saying yes that we have it all figured out. We're not saying yes that we know every step. We're not saying yes that we know we're not going to fail, that we're not going to fall, that we're not going to have to figure things out or get creative along the way. What we're saying yes to is, you know what? I know that this is beyond me. And if it's in my heart, and if I believe God is leading me this direction, he'll work it out. He's already worked it out. And we get to be part of the plan. We get to partner with him. So here are some things that when you say yes to your dream and you go all in, these are some of the byproducts. These are some of the things that that you can gain through just taking that one small step is personal growth and transformation. Pursuing your dream. I have learned more about myself on this road to entrepreneurship than I have ever before. Even when in therapy, we are our first client and we go through all of our stuff in front of our entire cohort, and we have to we push and we take turns using therapy techniques on each other. So, but with entrepreneurship, with going after my dream, it's caused me to pause and get really clear with who I am. This is one way that my coaching is different. Building this brand identity, that getting to help women build this legacy brand, build this, not legacy brand, but this idea of building this dream that they have in their heart. I get to help them like pull it out and work from the inside out, because it's honestly, it starts on the inside. So that's where we start with the who we are through it. So this personal growth and transformation, that is one of the byproducts that I didn't realize, is I get to know myself more, and I have a deeper understanding of my why. And I also have a deeper understanding of how God made me, how he created me, and how him and I can relate together. My relationship with Christ is deeper because of it. So the next one is unleashing your full potential. Only God knows what you're capable of. But if you stay on the sidelines and you stay watching everyone else do it, you'll never know what's possible. And so by discovering your strengths, by looking at your abilities, looking at your core motivations, you can see like all of a sudden, you see what's possible because it's already within you, who God created you to be. So increase confidence. Just like you staying safe decreases your confidence, when you take a bold step towards your dream, when you say yes to yourself, the increased confidence that comes, because every time you take a step and you're like, well, I didn't die. Ooh, this is kind of cool. Or, oh, look what I just discovered. It builds that muscle of confidence. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. And then not to mention the new opportunities. Like I mentioned with the book, if I did not say yes, 4 or 5 years ago, I would not have that same opportunity today. And so by committing to your dream, you open yourself up to these new opportunities, new connections, new experiences that you might not have seen, that God might not, you might not have been open to having that possibility dropped in front of you. Another thing is, when you are pursuing your calling, your purpose, this impact that you want to make, the fulfillment and joy that comes from that. It takes one person, right? It takes one person to believe in your dreams, to help you get out of your comfort zone. And one of my clients sent me a video, a reel of that, talking about it just takes one person. We might have 1,000, but one person to believe in you can set you in that forward motion. And she just said, thank you for being my one person. And that brought so much joy to my heart, because I've been working with her for a couple of years. And if I would have not said yes, and if I would have not been willing to do the hard work, then who knows where she would be? Who knows what opportunities she would have, or she would have to find somebody else when it was meant. Like I was the one that God wanted to guide her on that journey, and not in a prideful way, as in like, oh, only I can do it, but by stepping into my calling, I'm enabling someone else to step into theirs. And like the joy that comes from that is immeasurable. And so we get to inspire others. We get to create impact. We have stronger relationships. Let's talk about this financial rewards, ladies. I know many of you want financial freedom. What if the possibilities are already within you? What if God's already created the plan, and that these things that you've been through, whether you are in corporate America and you have it on your heart that you need to start your own a side gig, or you need to start a business, or you've been through some really hard things, you've done the hard work of healing, and you want to use your life experiences to impact others. What if the financial freedom you're looking for is right there waiting for you when you say yes? So if your passion aligns with the strengths and what God's pointing you to, like, there are financial rewards. There is financial freedom in that. And that's one of the things that I wanted to tell you, because so many times we want the freedom. We want time freedom. We want to choose our lives. We want to, choose what to do when. We want to choose where to go and who to help. And we want this financial freedom that allows us to take opportunities to be generous, to give our kids opportunities, to go to a special camp or to learn something different or just something that would help push them as well. When God puts when God puts a dream on your heart, a dream to prosper and not destroy you, and when He walks with you and He allows circumstances, many times it's not just for you, that it can be turned into good. And ladies, there are ways. There are ways. And this is what I get to do every day, is I get to help women who have life experiences, who have these strengths and have these ideas. They take their strengths and their gifts and they turn them into profitable businesses, these brand businesses, this brand identity of impact and freedom. And if that is you, get on my calendar and let's talk about how and what, and see if what you've been through. And I know if you've had the thought that, well, I really just want I don't want anyone to go through what I had to go through, or I want to help people so they can get through it faster. There's something there. If you have an impact and a drive and you want to make a difference, get on my calendar and let's talk about what's possible. And let's look at what's coming up, because I have this boot camp coming up. I have this permission to pivot challenge that I did, but I'm shifting it. It's it is the permission to pivot, brand the new you. It's the roadmap to turn your life experiences, turn the things that you've been through and your strengths into a profitable business, turning into a foundation for what this dream is inside of your heart. So if you're interested in that, join our Divine Destiny Facebook group. Stay tuned, because information about that is coming, but it's going to be probably toward the end of September when I'm going to do it. But if you're looking to make a change and you're feeling the need, and you have this angst inside of you, this need to do something different, to get out of your comfort zone, know that now is the time. Don't wait. Don't let these feelings of I'm not ready, or I don't know enough, or who am I to do XYZ stop you. If you wouldn't say that to your best friend or your child, don't say it to yourself. You want to see what's possible? Contact me and let's chat. All right, friend. If this podcast is landed, if it has hit you, if it gripped you at all, or if you know of someone who has an impact to make, and if you can share it with her to encourage her to get out of her comfort zone and take that small step forward, send her this podcast, share it, please. And also, if you have not taken time to leave me a rating and review, I would really appreciate it. That is one way that as podcasters, we can see what resonates. It also will help the almighty algorithm show people who like similar things as you, that it will suggest this podcast to them and maybe help them see what's possible. So with that, friend, choose joy until joy chooses you.